Hello, everyone. I want to pick up where we left off with questions last time because it is kind of pertinent to what I was talking about in the video this morning that I posted on YouTube about how, energy can't be destroyed. It just changes forms. So what happens whenever we're alive and we're practicing magic, we're accumulating this energy around us, this divine light, what the Chinese called qi, or what the ancient Sumerians called melam or melamu. We are gathering this around us, and we're doing this through pentagram rituals and hexagram rituals for the most part, but pentagram and hexagram rituals by invoking, the energies of the stars, the energies of the planets, the energies of the constellations, all of that. What we're doing is amassing that energy, like the Bible calls it, putting on the armor of God. You are literally surrounding yourself with this intense light. We call it light because that's the way our astral senses perceive it. But at the moment we die, that light that we've accumulated disperses and goes out to once again become one with all things. It rejoins the energy of the source that is constantly moving through us. If you accumulate enough of that energy, you will also become part of, once that dispersion happens and you become part of all things, you will also become part of people's memory. That's why we remember people from, say, Jesus and the Buddha to all the way down. I was talking this morning about Beethoven and George Washington. These were people who did some of these exact same practices. For example, George Washington belonged to a fraternity, at least the Masons, if not another one. My mind's blanking right now. All of these sort of groups practice the same sort of rituals. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because this is very connected to the secret masters. Secret masters are not supernatural figures or interdimensional. Well, they're not interdimensional intelligences in the way that people think of it. They are within us. Because whenever they died, their energy goes out and becomes one with all things. So we have the energy of every secret chief, every ascended master, every great teacher that the world has ever known is all inside you. All inside all of us. It may seem like when we're accessing them, like when we first make contact with them, start to download information from them, it'll seem like they're external sources because we're doing a lot of visualizations that make us think they're external. But what we're actually doing is connecting to their energy that is now within us and allowing it and sort of accessing the knowledge and the wisdom that is contained in their energy. Some people call them representations of either actual, like real, sources of spiritual teachings from the past, or even legendary ones. Say for example, like Merlin. We don't know if there was ever actually a real Merlin. There have been people who have, tried to prove it both ways, and the fact of the matter is, it's all theory. We don't know, but that doesn't mean that energy is not accessible within us. It may not be as powerful as someone who actually lived, but it's still accessible. But the thing about saying that they are representations of actual or legendary, sources of magic and energy and teachings, it gives you the idea that they're not real. But whenever you do access that energy within yourself, you realize that it is very, very real indeed, just not in the sense that we think it is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we should cover there before I go on. I want to go into making tinctures and whatnot today. So I'm going to stop talking about that and just give you, just start off talking about what we're going to be doing in this tincture process. First thing, we were talking about using roses just because it was something that I happen to have on hand. Whatever herb you're wanting to use, whenever you get your herb, this is a bag about this sort. This is, you can see this one is open, it's not full. If this were full, this would be about an ounce of roses, both buds and petals. And they're a really nice, dark pink and red color. Once you get these, your first step will be to consecrate these. You're going to call energy down on them. And that's what you're doing. Someone asked me about practicing what's called the analysis of the keyword, and if I did it and what the purpose of it was. The analysis of the keyword, the purpose of it is to call down divine energy onto something, to saturate something with divine energy. And what I mean, if you don't know, by analysis of the keyword, there's an exercise where you literally spell out the word light with your body in Latin, L-V-X, lux, it means light. And then at the end of this process, you're envisioning, every time you're moving, you're envisioning a light at the very top of the universe that's growing brighter and brighter and brighter. With every movement you make, it's growing brighter. After you do the X, you say, let the divine light descend. And you envision that light coming down and completely saturating something around you. Over the years, I stopped doing the body movements just because I don't need them anymore. Once you reach a certain level, it is true that you will be able to do anything on the astral or etheric level that you could do in the physical level. So I don't really need to do those things anymore, but yes, I still do the end result. So you're going to, in whatever way, whatever tradition you practice, you're going to bless your flowers. The next step will be to put them in your mortar and pestle. You're going to grind them up. Every time you do this, in magic we never use our own energy. We always use energy we take from outside sources so that we don't deplete ourselves. So when you have your flowers in here and you're getting ready to grind them, what you're going to do is inhale and fill the earth up with light beneath your feet. See it glow as bright as you can make it glow. And as you're grinding the herbs, you're going to let that light come back up through you, down your arm, out your hand, and into this. The entire time you're grinding your herbs in here, you're going to be filling them repeatedly with white light over and over and over. The main reason you're grinding them, in addition to putting the light in them, you're also just breaking and bruising the stems and buds and leaves and everything else up so that all of the vital essences are coming out of them. And they don't have to be ground all the way down to powder, but you do want to get them pretty finely ground. If you can see that, these are ones that I've already been grinding on. And even then, what you're going to do after you've ground them is you are going to bless and consecrate them over and over. At least once, but several more times if you feel like putting the energy into it. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. After you've done that, what you're going to do is then put your herbs into, you're going to pour your roses into here. And you remember the other day I was talking about tequila? I use tequila. So I poured tequila over the roses, and this is what you get after. This has been about 3 days, give or take. And it's in here just because I wanted to pour a little bit off and see how dark it was already. And the tequila is completely clear when I first poured it. Now it is actually a really dark, very lovely color of pink that I like. So we're going to let this sit for 40 days. This entire 40 days we are going to be doing invocation rituals and directing all of the energy into here. Appropriate energies for roses would be either Venus or also fire energy. You could put either one of those into here, or you can just choose to saturate it over and over and over with white light. So if you use, traditionally people use a metal jar. If you use a metal jar to do this, you want to put a piece of wax paper under the lid so that the fumes from the alcohol doesn't touch the lid. I will talk to you guys tomorrow more. I'm going to cut this off, but we're going to talk also about blue lotus, Egyptian blue lotus. It's been used for thousands of years for ritual and ceremonial purposes. Talk to you guys tomorrow. I love you, and thank you for sticking with me. Bye-bye.